Okay, let's just set a scene for you.
Right.
You're stuck, you're at the tire shop, it's busy, and you just need to get something simple done.
Mm-hmm.
But you're missing three very specific pieces of information.
The ones you never think to write down.
Exactly.
Hmm.
You need the tire size for your 2019 minivan, the full 7-digit license plate, and the specific trim level of the van.
And it hits you. None of that is in your wallet. You haven't memorized it. You know it exists somewhere, right?
Right.
Maybe in an old email, maybe a photo on your phone, but you can't find it. And that feeling, that immediate, frustrating feeling of being blind to your own life's context,
Yeah.
that's the exact problem that this new feature, personal intelligence, is trying to solve.
Welcome to the deep dive. We take the stack of sources you provide, and we pull out the key insights to give you that knowledge shortcut you need.
And today we are talking about a really big shift in AI.
A massive one. It's Google's new personal intelligence feature for Gemini AI Pro and Ultra subscribers.
Which just launched January 14th, 2026. It's in beta, just in the US for now.
And our mission today is pretty straightforward. We're going to dive deep into whether the unprecedented utility this thing offers is actually worth the trade-off.
The big trade-off.
Is giving an AI access to your entire digital life. We're talking emails, photos, searches. Is that a fair swap for the productivity it's promising?
Yeah, so we'll break down how it works, the technical magic behind it. We'll define a few terms like context packing.
Okay.
Then we'll look at the real-world magic, what it actually does. And then, crucially, we're going to get into the risks of what's called over-personalization and talk about the controls you have to, stay in charge.
For the last couple of years, AI assistants have felt like this brilliant stranger,
Mm-hmm. Statistically smart.
Statistically smart, yeah.
Yeah.
They can summarize all of human knowledge, but they have this context blindness.
That's a great way to put it. The AI knew everything about the internet, but absolutely nothing about you. It could write you a perfect guide to Chicago, but it had no idea you were flying there next Tuesday for a meeting. It just lacked the specifics of your life.
So personal intelligence is the fix. Instead of your data being scattered in all these different silos,
Emails here, photos there.
unifies it. It makes one single knowledge base. So the AI stops searching the web first, and it starts searching your life first.
And the tech behind this is what really makes it work. It's not just like a simple search. It's a technique they call context packing.
Okay, let's slow down on that one. Context packing, what does that actually mean?
So context packing is where the AI dynamically grabs a small, super relevant piece of your personal data.
That old car receipt.
Exactly. Or one specific photo from years ago. It pulls that real-time data from this massive archive before it generates an answer. It packs it into its reasoning process.
So instead of the AI reading a 1,000,000-page manual every time you ask a question,
Yeah.
it just creates a 5-page memo that's only about you and your car right then and there.
You got it. And the sheer scale of this is, well, it's staggering. It's all made possible by Gemini 3's 1 million token context window.
And that's the number that really jumps out for anyone listening. A token is basically a word or part of a word.
Roughly.
So 1 million tokens. That means the AI can hold the equivalent of hundreds of books or, years of your digital life.
Thousands of emails.
Every photo's metadata, every old search query, all in its working memory at the same time.
It's just a totally different scale. Before, you'd ask about your minivan, and the AI would just search online for general specs.
Right.
Now, with 1 million tokens of context, it can look at an email attachment from 2021, find the VIN number, match it to a service receipt, and combine all of that to give you an answer that is only for you.
So it really changes the whole relationship. It's not a general tool anymore. It becomes a hyper-specific personal resource. So let me ask you this. How does this new feature fundamentally change the usefulness of an AI assistant?
It makes the AI specific to your life, solving its previous context blindness.
The core mechanism here, and it's also the most intimate part, is how it connects the dots.
Right. Across Google's main services, when you turn personal intelligence on, you're giving Gemini permission to reason across all your different data sources.
And these are the most personal sources we have.
They are. We're talking Gmail, where it can pull info from attachments and old email threads.
Okay.
We're talking Google Photos, where it can see locations, read the metadata, recognize patterns. Your YouTube history, which says a lot about your interests. And of course, search history.
But the real magic isn't just the access. It's that it reasons across them all at once.
That's the breakthrough, that cross-referencing. It moves it beyond just, looking something up.
Let's use that travel example again.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have a flight confirmation in your Gmail. The AI sees that.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it connects that to a bunch of photos you took that show you're into nature photography, and then it links that to your recent searches for hiking boots.
Exactly. It's not just seeing three separate things anymore. It's building a story. It's synthesizing them to figure out you're about to go on a high-altitude hiking trip.
That's the leap from lookup to reasoning.
It is. And that leads to what they call the for you logic. This is the part of the source material that felt a little spooky.
Anticipatory AI.
Yeah. Once the AI understands your life this deeply, this new for you button shows up. And it suggests questions it thinks you want to ask.
Before you've even fully thought of them yourself?
It's predictive utility. I mean, think about it. You're searching for new cameras, then you're looking at your old photos from that Italy trip.
Okay.
And then you check an email about gear insurance. Gemini takes those three things and suggests, what camera equipment should I bring for my next trip based on what I used in Italy? Whoa.
Yeah, that is a moment of genuine wonder. Imagine scaling that level of detailed, personalized context across a billion different queries.
It's a profound shift.
It really is.
Yeah.
The tool almost becomes indispensable because it starts to anticipate what you need before you even know you need it.
Right. It saves you 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, hundreds of times.
So can you give us the most memorable example of this, connecting the dots?
The AI connecting a flight email, nature photos, and searches for hiking boots.
Okay, let's bring this back to our friend at the tire shop, totally frantic.
Right. This is the payoff.
This is where personal intelligence really proves its worth.
Absolutely. So Gemini instantly pulls the van's trim level from an old purchase email in Gmail.
Okay.
And at the same time, it's using image recognition on your Google Photos to find the 7-digit license plate from some blurry photo from a road trip.
And just like that, the problem solved in seconds with information that was only available to that one person.
That is the utility pitch in a nutshell.
And this is rolling out now for Pro and Ultra subscribers in the US.
It is, and the sources are really clear on this. It is strictly opt-in. You have to choose to turn it on.
So walk us through that. How simple is the setup?
It's really simple. You go to Settings, then Personal Intelligence, then Connected Apps.
And there you see the list.
Yeah, you see Gmail, Google Photos, YouTube, Search, and you just toggle on the ones you want. That's the key thing. You don't have to connect all four.
So you can be selective. Just photos and YouTube, maybe.
Exactly. You have that granular control.
And I thought this was interesting. There's no long sync time.
No,
Yeah.
none. The data's already there on Google servers. The toggle is just a permission switch.
So you flip it on for photos, and you can immediately ask something like, find the beach photo with my parents.
Instantly, it becomes personal right away.
So is the setup truly simple, or do users have to connect everything at once?
No, it's opt-in, and you can selectively connect services like just photos and YouTube.
Okay, so this brings us to the core tension of this whole thing.
The balance.
Yeah.
Utility versus privacy.
Right. And Google seems to know this is high stakes, so they talk a lot about the guardrails they've put in place.
They do. First, and most important, it's off by default. You have to be the one to turn it on.
Okay, that's number one.
Second, the data used for this stays on Google servers. It's not being shared or used by, outside models.
And what about the big one? The idea that your private life isn't just becoming training data.
That's maybe the biggest promise they make. Google says Gemini does not train its core models on your private stuff. Your emails, your photos, your personal history doesn't become general knowledge for the AI.
So those are the corporate guardrails. But then there are the risks for us, for the human user. The sources talk about over-personalization errors.
Yeah, and this is a really subtle but important risk. I mean, we're all more complicated than our data, right?
Of course.
So the example they use is you take 100 photos at your kid's golf tournament. Gemini sees 100 geotagged photos of golf and assumes you're a huge golfer.
And really, you just love your kid.
Exactly. The AI puts you in a box based on data, and it might miss what you actually care about.
You could also get things wrong because of timing, right? Like if you start a new job or move.
For sure. The AI might be working off old data, giving you suggestions that are outdated or just plain awkward. It's that feeling of being misunderstood by something that's supposed to know you so well.
Yeah.
I still wrestle with letting AI assume my interests myself. It's hard to keep up with context even in one chat, let alone across a decade of my life. It feels vulnerable when it gets something core about you wrong.
But they did build in ways to fight back against that bad context.
Yeah, and this is critical. You are still in control. If you want to ask something without any personalization, you just use a temporary chat.
And if it gives you a weird response, like it suggests a golf course for your next trip,
You can just hit regenerate without personalization.
Or you can just correct it.
Right. The simplest tool, just tell Gemini, I don't like golf. I was at my daughter's tournament. The system is designed to learn from that. And you can always disconnect the apps anytime.
So what is the most important control measure users have if they feel the AI is being invasive or wrong?
They can use temporary chats or regenerate the answer without personal data access.
Okay, let's zoom out to the bigger picture here. The competitive landscape.
Mhm.
You've got Apple, Microsoft, OpenAI. Why is this different? Why is this such a big deal for Google?
Because the whole game is changing in 2026. The edge isn't just about who has the smartest model anymore.
Right.
The real battle now is over who has the most personal context.
And that's Google's ace in the hole,
Mhm.
this insurmountable moat of data they've had for years.
Exactly. Google is flipping a switch on a decade of your personal history that their rivals just can't replicate. Every photo since 2010, every Gmail thread, every search.
The scale is one thing, but it's also the quality,
Yeah.
the long-term view of a person's life across all these different services.
And that signals a huge phase shift for AI. Phase 1 was the AI that knows everything on the internet.
The generalists.
The generalist. Phase 2, which this is the first real step into, is the AI that knows everything about you specifically, the personalist.
Which forces you as a user to sort of reckon with all this data you've been giving them for years. It was always there, but it was latent. Now it's active.
And Google's pitch is really direct, and it's both compelling and, a little uncomfortable. They're basically saying, you already gave us this data, now we're finally doing something really useful with it.
And that forces you to decide if useful is worth more than uncomfortable.
Every time you use it.
So what is Google's core argument for why users should activate this feature?
They argue since you already gave them the data, they are now making it useful for you.
And that really brings us back to the core conflict, doesn't it?
It does.
Personal intelligence transforms your AI from a generic encyclopedia into this exclusive, hyper-aware personal butler.
Right. It's using that giant 1 million token context window and years of your data to give you something no one else can match right now.
The utility is clearly there. The decision, though, it comes down to your personal comfort level with that privacy trade-off.
And here's maybe a final thought to leave with. Building on this idea of context as the new valuable asset.
Okay.
If your personal context becomes this indispensable resource, what happens when this digital brain, this thing that knows your habits and history better than anyone, is no longer just a private tool? What happens when it becomes a source of external identity that other people or systems can interact with?
An external digital you.
Think about what that means for how you're defined.
Wow. Fascinating and, yeah, slightly terrifying. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into personal intelligence.
My pleasure.
We hope this gave you the clarity you needed to make your own decision about this new tool.
Until next time.